Hi everybody, welcome to the patch notes for experimental update 1.09 for DayZ. So what's happened is Bohemia Interactive, the developer behind DayZ, are preparing a sizable update for, I think it's going to come out in September, but like the test server version of it, which you can play on the PC experimental branch of DayZ, has just gone live. And so I'm going to go through the patch notes, the update notes for this. Unfortunately, for this time, as we'll see in a second, it looks like we're not going to get the experimental branch on Xbox, because we had that last time, didn't we, for 1.08. They've had some problems with the build. So on console, we're probably only going to get it when it actually goes live on public servers. But let's dive in and see what we can look forward to. Remember, there probably will be changes by the time this comes to public servers. We are happy to announce that the upcoming game update 1.09 is entering its public experimental testing phase. This experimental build will only be available on Steam, as we have run into a number of issues with the Xbox experimental build, which we won't be able to solve for this particular game update. We'll come back to the Xbox experimental as soon as we can. In this blog, we'd like to give you a first glimpse into the update 1.09 to show you what you should keep your eyes open for and focus on during the experimental testing. That being said, if you really want to know everything, head on over to our forum post with the changelog, which we'll do in a minute. And as usual, please post any feedback to our tracker and or forums. The long-awaited Revolver is back. This one took a bit longer to get back into the game, as it uses special weapon logic alongside a very specific set of animations. The Revolver isn't the only weapon in this game update though. There is one more, and a completely new gun, but we will leave that up to you to find out what it is. The weapons and their muzzle attachments have got their durability during firing balanced. There was quite a big difference between different weapon types. Ones with internal magazines were almost indestructible. Make sure to stack up your weapon cleaning kit, as the duct tape is no longer usable on weapons. That's interesting, peeps. It was a bit odd though, wasn't it? That you could use duct tape to fix an AK or an M4, We're adding a new base object, the flagpole. The goal of this object is to make the overall base management easier by having one central object, which within a given time refresh the lifetime values of objects within its radius, currently set to 60 meters. The flag itself can be found in 27 different variants and is used to activate the flagpole itself when raised. With each lifetime refresh tick, the flag position lowers, meaning you'll need to keep an eye on your base, but will no longer need to run all around the objects and manually refresh them. Now that is very, very cool. That is very, very cool. That's almost Rust-like. So as you can see in the picture, you'll have a flag. Then as your base starts to degrade over time, then the flag will go down. So that gives you really good visual inspection. You go up to it, the flag goes back up, and your base is going to be okay from just despawning. A number of changes were done for the central economy setups for both Chernarus and Livonia. These include prolonged lifetime values for most of the items to make the world more immersive and persistent. Server restarts are no longer refilling the world to the nominal values, ignoring restock timers. Loot restock will only happen over time when the timers run out. Door states are now persistent. Increased the chance of bumping into rare items from the helicopter crash sites, as a number of rare items are now excluded from the count in cargo spaces of bases. That's a good thing, because you'd find a helicopter crash, you'd be like, "Way!" and that you wouldn't find a FAL or a VSS or something. You'd just find some boots, and that was always a bit disappointing. We've also been busy updating textures on selected environment assets, making new exterior and interior variants for commonly used houses to increase variety and update power line network of Chernarus. We have also fixed a number of common issues with character collisions, which often resulted in clipping with ceilings. We hope you will like what 1.09 has in store for you. See you on experimental survivors. On behalf of the DayZ team, Adam. So that's interesting. Let's go back to this one. Server restarts are no longer refilling the world to the nominal value. Okay, I didn't know that happened. So what normally would happen is, say you had, 10 M4s on the server. That was the nominal value, and then 5 of them had been used, what it has on the M4 or other items, there would be a timer, so it would only add like one more M4 like every 10 minutes. But what they're saying is what used to happen if the server restarted, it would put them back up to 10. So yeah, so I guess that means you can't kind of cheat the server by kind of doing a restart and all the loot suddenly appearing. But does mean we're gonna have to do a little bit of work on our XML files to bring them up to compatibility with 1.09. Well, not really compatibility, to make sure that the new items spawn on our modded XML files. Right, so let's take a look at the changelog. Added the DayZ pistol, so there you go, with its attachments. So there we go, that's the other gun they're talking about. Added the revolver. Added the flagpole and flags. Added the NBC, nuclear, biological, chemical respirator, so this must be a new gas mask. Added 7 new exterior and interior variants for rural houses. Added the police Ada 4x4 Rex for Livonia, replacing the Churnerous police Olga. So that'd be a skin for it, wouldn't it? Added information to items as to how many you can stack. Oh, that should be, that's good. Various fixes, changes. Updated the textures for several buildings and various props. You can now place up to 10 wooden sticks into a fireplace. That's good. Armbands are not stackable anymore, and their inventory size are decreased to 1 by 2. The doors of vehicle wrecks now open wider. Good. Lock doors only display their lock state after the player tried to open them once. Change the attachment slot for stones. Stacks of the same items can be combined on the ground to the maximum inventory stack. Updated the model of Olga 24 police car for Churnerous. Balance the dispersion values for all pistols. Balance the weapon durability during firing. Increase the durability of suppressors, including improvised. Duct tape can no longer be used to repair weapons and their attachments. Central economy. Added more loot points to the car wrecks. That'll be in the... That's interesting, that one. That could be in the map group proto, that one, maybe. Doors are now persistent. Lifetime values of all items have been greatly increased. Rare helicopter crash loot is now opted out from counting cargo of player-owned storage items, tents and crates. That's good. So, you know, it means that all the LARs don't suddenly... You can't find them. The restart of a server no longer spawns new loot. Loot is only spawned after restart time has run out. Added a new initial spawn parameter into globals.xml, allowing the definition of the percentage of items spawned into the world, only when there is no existing storage present. Okay, not quite sure what that means. Server modding. Added expose abstract wave get frequency into scripts. Oh god, I don't really know what much that means. Yeah. I'm not really sure. Okay, so there we go. So the big things are, we've now got the Flagpole Kit, which enables you to see visually how close your base is to despawning, and allows, and then if you interact with the flagpole, that will then reset the lifetime for everything around. We've got the DayZ coming in, the Desert Eagle. We've got the Revolver coming in. We've got the NBC respirator. You can no longer use duct tape to repair weapons. So this looks pretty good. And there's various, bug fixes and things, so that should be pretty good. Doesn't really say anything much about optimization, which is the thing we really want on consoles, isn't it? Optimization. We want to be able to drive cars quickly around Churnerous, but I kind of got a feeling that if I was in charge of development of DayZ at Bohemia Interactive, I think what they've got now is I would probably, you just put a small team on it, on the existing build, for Xbox and PlayStation, and you'd be putting more people into making sure that the next version, so the version that's going to be compatible with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox One Series X, runs well, and hopefully then we'll see a real convergence between the performance of DayZ on PC and console. In fact, what I'm hoping for is that DayZ on console will perform better than DayZ on PC, because these consoles coming up are going to be so much more powerful. It's so exciting, isn't it? Anyway, there we go. Experimental update 1.09, only available on the PC experimental branch of DayZ. They say they're not going to bring it to the Xbox experimental. So probably on console we're going to have to wait till it comes out, and that will probably be in September. Anyway, that's enough from me. Hope you found the video useful. If you have, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe. And I'll see you again soon.